simple interest. Let me see if we have compound interest as well.
So we have, I think.
Income tax, maybe in next chapter. Okay, let's start with simple interest then. Basically, this is also a sort of percentage. Okay. There are two main type of interest that you need to know about. You pay money in the bank. The interest you receive is almost always compound interest, which you will look at shortly. However, when you take out loan to borrow money, is known as simple interest. So if, for example, we take a loan of 100,000, that is principal amount, and the bank says that we will have to pay 10% interest. So interest is equals to 100,000 into 10 by 100. So that is 10,000. So the amount we will have to pay back is principal amount plus interest, which is 100,000 plus 10,000, 110,000. Clear? Now what
Yes, sir.
happens? This is simple interest. The rate stays constant. So if we lend money for 2 years, this was 1 year interest. So that would be 100,000 into 10% for 1 year, and we just simply multiply it with 2. So that would be to 20,000 cumulated. Or we can simply multiply 10 with 2, then 10 with 3, then 10 with 4, depending on number of years. So it simplifies our formula to interest is equals to principal amount PRT over 100, where R is the rate, P is the principal amount, which was 100,000, and then R is the rate, which is the percentage, and T is time. If I just can relate, zoom out. So see, this is the principal amount, and then we multiply with the rate, which is 10%. So R is 10, and 100 is for percentage, and T is the time. So I equals PRT over 100. One thing, we're using this formula, and the second one is amount is equals to principal plus interest. Amount is the total. Let's have a look at some questions. Now, calculate the simple interest on 1200 principal amount for 3 years at 6%. So I equals P R T over 100. Principal amount 1200, a rate is 6, time is 3, and with this 6 there is this 100 built in the formula. Calculator. So 1200 into 6 into 3 divided by 100 is 216. So one would have to pay an interest of $216 on price of 1200, lended for 3 years at 6% year interest. Second says the simple interest at 700 percentage and years are all given. So I equals P R T over 100. P 8.25 R times 2 divided by 100, and we get 115.5 interest. C part. The length of time. Now time is missing. Principal amount is given to earn 1000 interest is given if invested at this rate is given. So I equals PRT over 100. Interest is 1000, principal amount is 5000, a rate is 10%, and time is unknown over 100. Now we just cross multiply 1000 multiplied by 100 divided by 5000 and then divided by 10. So I'm getting 2. So it would get take 2 years for this amount at this rate. D part says the length of time for 400 to earn $160. So principal amount and they're earning 160, that's interest invested at 8%. I equals PRT over 100. Interest is 160. Principal amount is 400. A rate is 8%. Time is unknown divided by 100. So 160 multiplied by 100 divided by 8 and divided by 400. So you get 5. Time is equals to 5 years. Question number 2. Try this.
Sir, 2295.
Yes.
2295 interest is correct. And second part of the question.
Sir, 9045.
9045 correct. Basically, principal plus interest is the total amount, and 6750 plus 2295, we get 9045. Done, Haris?
Yes, sir.
Number 3. Jeremy takes out a loan for $8,000 for 5 years at a rate of 4% simple interest. How much interest will he pay in total? E R T over 100. Sorry?
Nothing, sir.
$1600.
Mhm.
1600.
That is correct. 1600.
Yes, sir. Okay, absolutely.
Number four, Linda borrows 20,000 to buy a car and pays the loan off over 4 years. $2,000 of what she pays back is interest. What is the rate? I equals PRT over 100, 2,000 interest given, 20,000 was taken as loan, rate is unknown, time she uses was 4 years, and by 100. 2,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 20,000 divided by 4. So rate is 2.5%. Number 5. Petra invested 10,800 after 4 years. She had earned this much. So that's interest. In interest, at an annual rate of interest, did she invest her money? So what annual rate? Unknown. I equals PRT per 100. Interest is 3240. Principal amount is 10800. Rate is unknown. And time is 4 years. So what do we get?
132. Suitable. Suitable.
Rate is equals to
Multiply your X.
7.5.
correct.
Yes, sir. 7.5.
7.5%. Okay. A repeated percentage change. Sometimes you may want to apply a percentage increase or decrease multiple times. For example, if an item increases in value by a fixed percentage each year, or if it loses value by a fixed percentage each year. Now, this is slowly moving towards compound interest. So, basically, if we take an example, uh, let's say we owe a bank 100 rupees, and the bank says that it will charge 10% per year. So, 10% per year would make it 110 over 100, and now we have to pay 110. And if we did not pay back in the first year, in the second year, we actually owe this much amount to the bank. And now we have to pay 10% on this amount.
Yes.
And now we have to pay 121. And now this is what we owe. And if we still do not pay back, we have to pay this much 121 and again 10% interest. And we'll have to pay 133.1. With comparison to simple interest, if we would have to pay simple interest, here 1 would have been 100 into 10 over 100, 110 simple interest, this would be 110. Second year into 2, this would be 120. Third year into 3, this would be 130. So that was 110, 120, and 130 in comparison to these values. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because first we owed the bank 100, but now we owe 100 plus 10. So 10 was interest on 100, and on this 10 we still owe 10%, that is $1. So we add them to make 121 next year. And the formula is, so what are we actually doing? I multiplied this with 110, or let's say 1.1. Whatever the answer is, multiplied with 1.1 again. Whatever the answer is, we multiplied with 1.1 again. So what's happening? One time, two time, three time. So when it is one time, this is the case. When it is two times, this is the case. When it is three times, this is the case. So how many times is 1.1 raised to power n? So amount is equals to principal into 1 plus r over 100. Now, where is this 1 coming from? We are writing 110. So 1 plus 10%. When I simplify this, this 1 is actually 100%. 100 plus 10, an increase on it. So that makes it 110 over 100. So r is just the rate, and increases that on top of 100 raised to power n. In some books, you will find A is equals to P 1 plus R over 100 raised to power T. Both are same. Now we need to know one thing, that R and T should have same units. For example, he says R is equals to 2.5% per year. So we will substitute time in years. And if the question says time is equals to 6 months, so we will put A is equals to P, and let's say R is 2.5. So 2.5 over 100. See, R is in years. So I will put 0.5, because 6 months is equals to 0.5 year. So both have to be same, or else I will have to multiply rate with 12 to change it, divide by 12 to change it in monthly. Both should be in months, or both should be in years. Exercise 3.4b. Judy plants a tree that is 15 centimeters plus 20 is 120%, which makes it 1.2 as simplified fraction each year. What is the height of the tree after 3 years? So 15 into 1.2 raised to power 3. Any confusion in understanding the expression 15 into 1.5 raised to power 3? Where is
No,
this
sir.
1.2 coming from? Where is this 3 power coming from? So we get 25.92. So it will get 25.92 centimeters tall after 3 years at this rate. Question number 2 says, Emma, okay, question 1 again. If I have to put this in the same formula, this was principal amount plus R over 100 raised to power T. That was principal amount. I can say principal or base height. 15, 1 plus rate is 20 over 100, and time given is 3. You will still get same answer, 24, 5.92 centimeters. Number 2, Emma buys a car for $14,000. Its value depreciates, decreases by 6%. So if it is decreasing by 6%, what is the remaining value? Anyone?
Sir,
Like the percentage, remaining percentage. You bought a car, you used it, it depreciated by 6%. So how much worth is still left?
the 45,
Ali, not the
94.
amount, just the worth. 94, yes. So decreased by 6%, it is still worth 94%. So if it is worth 94%, we
Yes,
know
sir.
that we will be multiplying 14,000 with 94% to get the decreased value, and then to the nearest dollar what the car is worth 4 years later. So we keep on multiplying by 0.94, 0.94 four times. So what do we do is 14,000 multiplied by 0.94 if this was for 1 year, but this is for 4 years, so raised to the power 4. Okay, and it says to nearest dollar. So after rounding, I'm getting 10930.
Yes, sir.
Be careful when the question tells you to round off, because once you have to get the correct answer and also to the correct degree specified in the question. Question number 3. The price of a table is decreased by 25%. So the remaining price is 75%. From its original price 280 due to a rise in demand, the price is then increased by. Okay. So initially it was 280. When it decreased by 25%, that means a remaining 75%. Now this is the remaining value. Due to rise in demand, its price is then increased to 25%. And increased by 25 again. May I multiply it with 1.25? Any confusion in this 0.25 and 1.25?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So the new price becomes 262.5. 262.5. Get it cleared that it decreased 25, then increased 25. It is not the same, because when we are decreasing
Yes,
25, we
sir.
are decreasing 25% of 280. And when we are increasing it again, we are increasing it on 210. 75% of 280 was 210. So 25% again increased on a lesser value. That is why it does not equal the original value. Try number 4.
Sir, 336.
336 is correct. Question number 5.
Sir, 450.
Due to high demand,
450.
the price of gaming console used. Let me quickly check it.
So that increases by 30 and then decreases by 30%.
Yes.
So
First
it's
increases, then decreases.
for 450.
No, that's not 450.
Um,
It is 409.5.
um,
Try it, then I'll explain if you don't get this.
Again, explain. So can you explain?
Yes, sure. CLE, the price is 450 and it is increased by 30%. That makes it this value 450 into 1.3, 585. And then the following year, the price is decreased by 30 again. So 585 multiplied by 0.7, 409.5.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Because 30% is increased on 450
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and then 30 is decreased on the new value, which is different.
Yes, sir.
Clear, Aris?
Yes, sir.
Number 6. Dinesh bought a guitar for $320. In the first year, its value depreciated by 15. So it is decreasing. What is the remaining value is 85%.
85.
So 320 into 0.85. This is the remaining value. In the second year, its value depreciated by another 12. Another decrease of 12 would mean remaining is 88. So first decreased by 15, then decreased by 12. What was its value after 2 years? So 320 multiplied by 0.85 alone, when it decreased by 15%, it was 272. And then again decreased by 12%, it is now 239.36. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Try number 7. Still doing?
Yes, sir. Sir,
20.
56%. Sir, 56%.
Done.